Hello, family and friends of Calvary. It's time for another episode of Your Church Today. I guess the biggest news I have to report is that there really isn't much new news, other than we're just continuing to do our productions, keep up our online services, maintain the building, and just do what's required. I do want to report that our carpet cleaning project has completed the sanctuary now. We're completely done in here, and the carpet is all nice and fresh and ready for us to return. One of the things we are working on is planning for our return when we all get together again. We're starting to put together what those services look like and how we're going to manage that. And we're excited and looking forward to it. So stay tuned in the weeks to come as we update you on that progress. In the meantime, we're just going to show you what's going on around here. I have a special guest for you today and a word of encouragement. So stay tuned for another episode of Your Church Today. Once we do return and are able to all meet together again, we've divided the sanctuary into two seating areas. One is our first class and business class section that has plenty of leg room and a great view of the stage. But then we've also added our economy section for those who want to come to church at a discount. Okay, we got to have a little humor every once in a while. Just kidding. Speaking of our chairs, this is a special anniversary for them. April 4 years ago, we received our chairs that are now in the sanctuary. What was there before? We had pews. Some of you might remember those big red or purple ugly pews. At the same time, we removed and scraped off the old carpet that had been there for about 15 years, and we brought the church down to its original wooden floor. Here's Pastor Nathan and Pastor Gina having a little contest on who can break the pews apart the fastest. And here's Pastor Nathan digging through the pews that were taken down for coins left behind. Yes, he donated them all to the Royal Rangers. While we were working, Grandpa John stopped by on his scooter. He tried out the new floor, and then he wanted to find out where his new spot was going to be. He declared he didn't need a chair, he already had one. He just wanted a spot where he would park, and he found it right there. Soon after, a truckload of chairs pulled up in the parking lot and unloaded 200 brand new chairs. And there you have it. That's how we have the chairs we have today. Aren't you glad you're not sitting in those old uncomfortable pews? For today's guest segment, we have a very special guest for you. Hey guys, my very special guest today is Pastor Gina Buttress herself.
Hello!
Hey Gina, it's good to have you with us today. So I gotta ask you, first thing off the bat, 4 little kids in this crazy world, how are you coping?
Interesting choice of words with the coping. I think that it's 1 minute at a time, sometimes a couple hours at a time, and sometimes a lot of ice cream at the end of the night. So, yeah, definitely. It's been a challenge, but I mean, what a beautiful time for us to be actually able to see the progress of our kids academically and really be in the trenches with the kids right now. So I'm enjoying this time.
So you're actually homeschooling all the kids now, right?
Sort of. Leo's in first grade, so he's kind of our top priority. And so I've been working with this teacher with the education online. And then Issa pretty much just follows our lead. She's only in preschool, so technically doesn't really count. And then the twins, Out has been sheltering in place with us. So She stayed with us from the beginning and has not left the house with us. So she is able to teach the little ones, which is great because it's her background. So they're learning Spanish and all kinds of fun stuff. So it's a team effort by far, yeah, for sure.
What do you have any advice for other parents that might be have little kids that are going through this? Anything you've learned that you want to share?
Yeah, definitely. I think what was hard for me is that you go on Facebook, right, and you see all these parents that are doing these really interactive learning, and their kids are learning quadratic equations at the age of 3, and all this stuff, right? And so it's easy to look at all that and think, oh my gosh, is that the standard that I'm supposed to be at? Is that the bar that is set before me? And think, man, I could barely get out of the house, or not out of the house, but out of the bedroom, I guess, showered. And, I'm lucky if all the kids brushed their teeth that week. And so it's easy to compare what other people are doing in the social media and think, oh, I definitely must be missing the ball or dropping the ball. And so I guess the biggest advice that I say really to myself is, if I need to back away from Facebook so I'm not comparing, then that's okay. Or, whatever our goal is for the day, whether it's met or not met, they're gonna learn when they want to learn, right? Or whatever they learn. The biggest thing is really just developing that relationship with them. I think of when my kids were smaller, especially my first one, because the first one, you buy every book in the world, and you baby proof everything, and don't eat the Cheerios off the ground. And by the fourth one, they're like, if the dog licked it and pooped it out, it's still good. So, sorry, but all that to say, with the first one, I remember, we were really trying to get Leo to roll over. And everyone was making a big deal. He needs tummy time. He needs tummy time. And I remember going, roll over, roll over. And then there's so much pressure in everything that you read. We're in this crazy world of oversaturated in information. Yes. And so when he, finally he rolls over, and now they all roll over just fine. And so I say that to say, with the whole learning, whether they get the math or they're getting the reading or they're getting the writing, they're going to learn it eventually. And so maybe our job is not necessarily to make sure that they're geniuses at the end of this. It's just to make sure that they're engaged with us as a family unit, that we never will probably ever get this time again unless COVID-20 happens or whatever, right? But I guess that's my biggest advice is for myself, is just really every day focusing on our family unit, and whether we get the things done or not, or whether all the things get checked off is irrelevant. It's just focusing on that moment that we have that we'll probably never have again.
Yeah, what I kind of hear you saying is, as a parent, give yourself a break from time to time.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be perfect. So.
Yeah.
Well, Gina, why don't you just give the folks a word of greeting today?
A greeting. Hello. Konnichiwa. I don't know any other greetings. Hello. It's good to see you guys. I love, hearing all the different things that people are doing. The pro tips are really cool. But, we cannot wait to be able to gather together as a family unit and, hold hands without hand sanitizing and loving each other and praying for one another. And there's just something about an eye contact face to face that you can really get what's going on inside versus on a screen. So hang in there. It's only for a season, and when that season is over, it's going to be gone, and that's it. So hang in there. It will be over. I have no idea when, but we miss you, and we miss seeing you guys and interacting with you guys. But I keep saying it's only for a season. It's only for you can do anything for a season, right?
And we're all looking forward to getting back together and having you share with us from the pulpit.
Maybe, yeah, me too. Yay!
God bless you.
See you guys later. Mom, we miss you.
Thank you for joining us today on Your Church Today. We'll see you again next week as we have more news and more stories from Your Church Today. Bye now.